studying art at the moment and working. I'm really keen on the connection between body and mind, and the feeling that sometimes it doesn't quite fit. And I guess I'm exploring that at the moment. I'm a heavily spiritual person in quite a logical way. And I think if something's upsetting you, you should have an outlet for that. And that's what my work, I guess, as well as being a creative thing, it's also been a massive outlet for me. And that's why I think I make so much of it, not just for educational basis or whatever, a commission, just it's an outlet. For me, the meaning, like everyone has their questions about the meaning of life, they have questions about the meaning of music, and musicians, artists, creatives can answer that, but they can't answer it in one way, they can answer it in their work. One thing I can say about the whole point of all of my work, not everyone else's, my work, is in a way I hope that one day if my work was up somewhere, not a gallery, just anywhere, and then you've got someone looking at it, a complete stranger, no connection to the artist, and 1 out of a million it might look at that picture and be like, shit, I'm not alone on this planet. They get how I feel. And they don't know how they get that. The image doesn't communicate it in black and white. They just get a feeling that someone's going through or understands the feeling they feel.
If there was one unifying factor in your work which wasn't you, what would it be?
An insight into something else. Just another feeling that you can't quite get your thumb on. This one was me, like I was sort of sitting with a cigarette and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh wait, that would be a good kind of drawing. So I started sketching whilst looking in the mirror, and then when I filled in the sketch I made it so it's like the flesh is being cut through, like x-ray vision kind of, and in the hat. So you've got a woman lying down up here, and then on my tongue is another woman resting, and then in my head is a figure pulling out and trying to grab my bracelet. So it was kind of like what was going on in my head, like all these little people. And then this was for a t-shirt design, and I did this and printed it in a negative as well, and that was like a deity made up of loads of different cultures, and with the obviously like the party culture and listening to music and stuff, and the om sign like split into everything. Yeah, and then this is sort of like mother and child, and you know, like the female repetition. So you've got a woman here, a woman sitting on there, a little girl sitting on the lap, and then like the seed in her hand. So yeah, this is like past, present, future. So the girl's looking down at the past, which is held in her hands, and then the head kind of looks up to the future. It's optimism within sort of redemption and all that stuff. This one I did when I was in class about a year ago. I did the head and then I just didn't want to continue with it, so I just did like a quick sketch here and then wrote down what was my thoughts in that class, because I didn't feel like I was joining in on the lesson at all. And it says, today is one hell of a day. I don't feel like my body belongs to my soul. So this was a piece I did on a decrescendo of confidence, kind of had a lot going on with my life at the time, and the first figure is when I had long blonde hair, and it's looking confidently at the viewer. And then here is the second figure looking back at the blonde head, sort of cowering over a little bit, looking a little bit less confident and a little bit more frail, and that's when I dyed my hair pink. And then I shaved all my hair off, and this is the kind of figure hiding away from that, and then it was the final kind of like swamped into sort of depression with the black veil, which looks like hair over the head. And this was done with spray paints, acrylic ink. And then the background's all just rambling, because in all my work I like to write without thinking. So sometimes I'll plan a piece and what I want to write, and then halfway through I'll just start writing about something completely different. So most of this is just different thought patterns in the background. describing those morning dreams you have when you've woken up already, you've gone back to sleep, and you've got like that half an hour of just REM vivid, weird, yeah, like, you know, and your subconscious is basically taking a shit, and like I ended up writing about that, and that came back to a lot of things that are a theme in my work. You know what I mean? Okay, third eye comes up quite a bit in my pictures, right? Sure. Just a little bit now and again. And the third eye is a scope into another dimension, but kind of a parallel to what we've got now. Well, in culture, the third eye looks into the unknown and the unseeable and the unspeakable. And my work isn't, I'm not saying it is the unspeakable, not at all, but it's me trying to make the bridge between what the hell this is and what the hell that is. And on the way, obviously, it's at the expense of my own sort of thinking. And these are shredded up love letters, hands on acetate and ink sort of drawings, and there's the girl looking out, well, that's meant to be me, and then the hole in the head, and then I just layered a lot of acetate on top with different faces in, so there's kind of some depth to the piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shredded up love letters kind of were, the collage of that was kind of like the finishing touch to the piece, and the same with these ones, because I like a lot of my figures that I draw to look like they're kind of in a moment of ecstasy or a sort of high off something. Basically, if I'm making a piece about something really personal, and all my stuff is, at the end of the day, it's really personal, I can't really produce much else, adding a bit of humour to it makes people not so uncomfortable looking at it, and not so engulfed in what the hell's going on in my head. So yeah, this is a figure sort of lifting her arms up, tits out as usual. Yeah, and the love letters, I wrote them all really honestly. No one ever got to see them because they were shredded. I used them this. And these were pieces that I just planned to like propagate something and leave. Actually, I was quite into the idea of doing that, kind of like, not graffiti because it's not on the wall, but I like making stuff and then just leaving it. Did that on the bus a lot. I used to do stickers with like poetry on and a little drawing and then just stick it on the bus and it was gone forever. This is like animal fat that I poured into pudding sets and cut it up in sequence on film and then printed it onto acetate because I was trying to like make a whole thing about cutting up fat. All of it, a lot of it was based on like body dysmorphia, which is it's actually arguably not a condition. It's not actually been put into the book of all psychological conditions that have been actually like listed and
scientific order.
Yeah, and body dysmorphia is the condition in which someone feels like their body doesn't belong to them, and they can't explain it.
Well, it's the body you see, it's not the body.
Yeah, it's nothing like anorexia or obesity or when people just get more. It's an obscuring and morphing of how. At the end of the day, it's a massive gap between who you are and what skin you're in. That was when I was going through one of the hardest points of that condition, and it was like me trying to be as A-level as I could within quite a deep subject. Because I wasn't setting out to make anyone feel sorry for me or like look into my problems. It was an honest like.
As A-level as you could, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was. The whole book downstairs that explains it. I've got hair in my book where I shave my head. I put it all in there.
Yeah.
I just went nuts and like couldn't deal with the whole body image thing, and it was just like, right, gotta go. Hair's gotta go. Gotta start just thinking outside the box. And I thought like an escape from looking in the mirror and not knowing what the fuck was going on was radically changing it so you had control.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked.
When you say A-level, what do you mean?
I did that during A-level, AS.
Yeah, but you said make it as A-level as...
Well, yeah, because my book originally I said I would have to stop the project because it was too upsetting for people to look at.
So...
Which I think is a load of bollocks, but...
okay.
Like, Marlene Dumas went to her private exhibition at the Tate. She's fantastic. She bleeds wet on wet oils. She's awesome, and she paints a lot about that stuff.
think your art is a science, your own take on a science? 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
why not?
to separate those two things is, quite scientific, really.
Not really. I think it's a huge part of the psyche and also the subconscious.
Sure, but no, like when science says that art is different to science and art are these two separate things, whereas
Well, they're
you
separate in
don't think.
practice and in actual theory. I mean,
Yeah.
art is to take what's from in the mind and in the soul and the heart and the feelings and the past and everything, and put it into an image of beauty or an image of grotesqueness or anything. But science is to prove.
Right
Is
and
to
wrong,
is to separate out what we feel and what's. Science is there to give us a guideline of what path is reality and what path is our up to us and our own power. That's what I think. I find science very enlightening and peace and very.
And whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. But I've always thought that so if I know the bare facts of everything, then all the stuff I think that's out of that is all my cognitive juices, and it's all brilliant, and I might as well splash that around on a canvas. You know what I mean?
Definitely. To good effect, I might add, viewers.